Hello, fellow performers and professors. I'm your naughty performer, playwright, and professor, Eilidh. Welcome to Burlesque Gateway, where we support the shift from gatekeeping to gateways into burlesque, cabaret, and circus arts. Today, let's turn the key and open the door on the 5 E's of burlesque education together. Before I dive into explaining this version of my accessible burlesque teaching framework, let's explore why I started my Adventures in Adaptive Dance project to begin with. This chapter of my dance and burlesque background begins around 2016, when I was diagnosed with a functional neurological and movement disorder, and I had to go through pretty intensive rehab physiotherapy to learn how to walk again and relearn how to do other very basic tasks that most abled folks take for granted as easy. I had to be medically banned from performing and training for 6 months in 2017-18 because I was pushing myself to do it anyway, on top of, retraining my brain in basic motor skills. Then, when I graduated from neuro rehab physio in 2018, I had to pick a physical activity that I enjoyed doing to stay motivated in my ongoing recovery journey. So, of course, I wanted to take a whole bunch of dance classes, get myself well enough to retrain in circus skills, including burlesque and especially fan dance. Only I was rejected by over 20 dance schools, dance fitness classes, and even our local disability sports organisation as too disabled to participate. I was told that I had extremely complex support needs and that they were unwilling or unable to reasonably accommodate them. Luckily, I had been working with Lady Phoenix one-to-one before I'd had to go on pause with training for physiotherapy, but we could only manage monthly lessons when I needed weekly supported training. So, not to be deterred by a little rejection, I stopped counting the no's and kept asking dance teachers within commuting distance if they'd train me. Until eventually I found one instructor willing to have me in their weekly chair dance classes. And she connected me with other burlesque instructors I could work with too. They didn't know how to support me either, but they were willing to learn together. And through all this, my science gremlin brain decided to pose a PhD level thesis to me. If so many dance teachers don't know how to confidently and safely teach disabled students, A, why? What's missing from their level 10 ballet or whatever certificate course? And B, how do I change it so that nobody else has to get rejected as much as I did before they find any teacher willing to just give it a go? Which led me to create a body of research spanning 2018 to 2022. So this is 5 years in the making, and I had a lot of incredible help and support along the way. Now, what is the 5 E's of burlesque education itself? This particular part of my larger research project was funded by Creative Scotland and the National Lottery's Go See Share Awards in 2022, and I originally called it Adventures in Adaptive Dance, Exploring Accessible Dance Teaching Practice, which is a mouthful. But for Arts Council funding, the more academic format made sense as a working title. It's a kind of does what it says on the tin title, as long as you know what the chemical names for the ingredients actually mean. It wasn't ever intended to be fully public-facing in that jargon-encrusted format, but I wanted to let the right name come to me when it was ready for release into the wild, like a fully healed rescue seal ready to head back into the sea. I was so fortunate to get that support, and it meant I could work with some incredible international performers who helped me test the 5Es framework and generously shared their stories with me on how they were called to teaching burlesque. Truly, this resource would not have been as good as it is without their input. So thank you to Jacqueline Box, Pearl Noir, Headmistress Jo Weldon, and Eva Delicious, who helped me test the framework itself by allowing me to either witness them creating a totally new workshop or by letting me run an existing workshop through an access assessment. And thank you to Mix Pucks Aplenty, Miss Indigo Blue, Diva Rose, and the Disabilities Festival and Academy team, Minda May, Lakota Shekhar, and Vava Vashti, who agreed to interviews on how they got into teaching burlesque and gave me a behind-the-scenes tour of their burlesque schools and courses. After a slightly longer than planned processing break and another major setback with my health that took me out of commission for the last 2 years, now I'm ready to get back to teaching again by launching the 5Es of Burlesque Education Accessible Teaching Framework. First, as a 1-hour online workshop on June 24th, where you can get early access to my free workbook, go through it together and ask whatever questions you have for me live, and get a first draft of your very own burlesque workshop mapped out. Then, July 1st to August 12th, every Tuesday night, I'll be running the 5Es of Burlesque Education 7-week course live online, where we can spend more time together creating a fully developed teaching script to deliver as a workshop, or you can get support to create a short course if you so desire. The skills are transferable. We'll play fun games, work on your Burly teaching bios, and make something magical together so that your workshops, classes, and courses are more accessible for disabled participants. And in September, I'll launch the workshop 7-week course and free workbook, all pre-recorded. That's what I'll be doing with you each week because I believe in peer learning, that I have as much to learn from my students as they do from me. Who is this workshop and course for? The 5Es of Burlesque Education is for any performer who wants to teach a workshop but doesn't know where to start with sharing their specialist skills at all. It's also for performers who have some idea of how to teach but need help with providing alternative movements for disabled students, or who need a clearer idea of how to structure lectures and theory classes. It's also great for anyone who's been teaching a while but maybe, like those 20 or more dance schools way back at the start of this story, needs to brush up on their accessibility in action and wants to be more welcoming and inclusive for disabled members of our burlesque, cabaret and circus communities. Okay, recognise yourself in there? How can you join me? By the time this video goes out, I'll have the links up and they'll be in the description box. But I've got a couple of offers for you since this is the first time I'm running the course live. And I'll probably not run the 7-week course live again for a year or two since I've got some other projects on the back burner for 2026. It'll only be available pre-recorded from autumn 2025. I will run the 1-hour workshop live again, but not until next year. So this is your only chance to do it with me in 2025 before the 5Es of Burlesque Education is mostly DIY. Workshop tickets for June 24th are £20. You'll get access to the live recording for a month, as well as early access to the free workbook and a discount code to use on the 7-week course if you decide it's for you afterwards. If you book onto the 7-week course live this July and August, you'll have access to the live course recording for a year, and you'll also get the pre-recorded course for free if you're part of my first class in 2025, which I'll be asking £125 for when it goes live, and a few other bonuses I've yet to announce, all for the launch price of £250, so that's a total value of £375. And to celebrate me getting this out into the world, finally, for the next 2 weeks after this video goes out, I'll have both the 1 hour workshop and the 7-week course on sale at half price. So if you book before I'm back in office from annual leave, well, you can get the workshop for £10 or the full course and all bonuses for just £125. If you've got any questions for me, you can email burlesquegateway@gmail.com, leave a comment on this video, or book your ticket to my live workshop on June 24th, and I'll get back to you sometime after the 16th of June. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you soon. Ta-ta for now!